Let me tell you something that most people will never admit. The world does not reward fairness. It rewards strength, strategy, discipline, and the courage to stop playing the fool in other people's stories. Some of you listening right now are suffering not because life is wicked, but because you have been too soft in a world that respects only one thing: power. You keep giving chances to people who wouldn't give you a second thought. You keep offering your loyalty to people who see your kindness as a weakness. You keep lowering yourself to lift others who wouldn't even offer you a hand if you were drowning. And deep down, you know it. Marcus Aurelius warned us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Yet you keep surrendering that power to people who don't deserve even your presence. The truth is painful, but liberating. Playing fair in a world full of selfish people is not kindness. It is self-destruction. People will take from you until there is nothing left. People will use you until you cannot recognize yourself. People will drain you until you finally wake up angry, confused, and broken. But today, that ends. You're going to learn how to stop being the person everyone walks over. You're going to learn how to set boundaries so sharp that manipulators bleed when they try to cross them. You're going to learn how to carry yourself with a ruthlessness that protects your peace, your mind, your goals, and your destiny. Stay with me until the very end, because what you're about to hear will shift the power dynamic in every area of your life. And before we continue, hit the subscribe button on the Inner Fortress, because this is where people come to build unbreakable minds. If you're ready to finally become untouchable, let's begin. 1. Stop expecting fairness from unfair people. Most people's deepest wounds come from expecting others to treat them the way they treated others. They assume fairness is a universal value, but fairness is not a global principle, it is a personal behavior. Expecting it from the wrong people is the fastest path to heartbreak, burnout, and betrayal. The Stoics understood this more clearly than anyone. Marcus Aurelius warned that we must prepare ourselves each morning for selfishness, greed, manipulation, and ingratitude. Not because the world is evil, but because human nature is unpredictable. When you assume fairness, you set yourself up to be blindsided. A young man named Adrian learned this lesson the hard way. He gave everything, his time, his loyalty, his support, to people who treated him like a resource, not a human being. Whenever they needed him, he answered. Whenever they were in trouble, he showed up. Whenever they lacked something, he provided it. But when he finally needed someone, the very people he sacrificed for disappeared. He expected fairness from people who didn't even respect themselves, and that expectation destroyed him emotionally. His kindness wasn't the problem, his expectations were. Stoicism teaches that you must deal with reality, not fantasies. Many people live inside the fantasy that, if I am good to people, they will be good to me. But life doesn't operate on emotional logic. Some people will take from you until you collapse. Some will accept your kindness and respond with envy. Some will enjoy your generosity and still betray you. And some will weaponize your fairness to make themselves more powerful at your expense. Seneca said, "He who expects from others is always disappointed." The key is to expect nothing, but give wisely. There is a modern lie that all people have good hearts. But the truth is more complex. People behave according to their needs, insecurities, desires, wounds, and fears. Some people are too damaged to be fair. Some are too self-centered to be loyal. Some are too entitled to appreciate kindness. Some are too immature to reciprocate. And some are too manipulative to ever give you what you give them. Fairness to the unfair is not kindness, it is volunteer suffering. When you stop expecting fairness, everything becomes clearer. You see people for what they are, not what you wish they were. You start observing patterns instead of promises. You start judging people by their actions, not their words. You start protecting your energy instead of offering it blindly. You start noticing who drains you and who fills you. You start noticing who respects you and who only tolerates you. And most importantly, you start withdrawing from those who have proven they cannot or will not give what you give. Ruthlessness in Stoicism doesn't mean becoming heartless. It means protecting your heart with wisdom. It means refusing to let people treat your fairness as a weakness. It means giving only to those who have proven themselves. It means treating everyone with basic respect, but reserving your soul for a select, worthy few. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If you constantly surround yourself with unfair people, your spirit becomes heavy. But when you surround yourself with people who mirror your fairness, your soul becomes light. Fairness must be earned, not given freely. You don't owe loyalty to people who lie. You don't owe kindness to people who disrespect you. You don't owe patience to people who repeat the same harm. You don't owe forgiveness to someone who isn't sorry. You don't owe access to anyone who treats you as an option. Your time, energy, and fairness are gifts, expensive ones. And the moment you treat them as ordinary, others will treat them as disposable. There is enormous freedom in expecting nothing from anyone. Because when you expect nothing, you can never be disappointed, only surprised. You become emotionally untouchable. You stop overthinking other people's actions. You stop losing sleep over broken promises. You stop getting attached to temporary people. You stop feeling guilty for walking away. You stop allowing people to walk in and out of your life depending on their mood. Expectation is a chain. Detachment is liberation. When you accept that some people simply cannot be fair, you stop trying to fix what is not yours to repair. You stop begging for bare minimum. You stop hoping someone will magically become who you need. You stop replaying conversations trying to understand why they acted the way they did. You stop blaming yourself for their lack of integrity. You stop shrinking your value to make unfair people feel comfortable. This is the beginning of inner strength. And if you want more brutal, real Stoic wisdom that reshapes your life from the inside out, subscribe to the Inner Fortress. This is where your transformation begins. 2. Become ruthlessly conscious with your giving. Giving is beautiful. Giving is noble. Giving is sacred. But giving without consciousness is the fastest route to emotional bankruptcy. The world does not exploit the selfish. It exploits the generous. The world does not drain the arrogant. It drains the soft-hearted. The world does not manipulate the wicked. It manipulates the kind. This is why you must master conscious giving. Giving with boundaries, giving with wisdom, giving with clarity. Seneca wrote, "You must give to the grateful, not the greedy." Many people misunderstand this. They believe giving is about being selfless, but Stoic giving is never blind. It is intentional, balanced, and strategic. It lifts others without destroying you. It supports others without draining your spirit. It heals others without wounding your peace. Conscious giving means you choose where your energy flows instead of letting people pull it out of you. There is a dangerous truth most people avoid. Many people don't love you. They love what you do for them. They love your help, your support, your resources, your presence, your kindness. But if you stop giving, the entire relationship collapses, exposing its true foundation, dependency, not love. Some relationships only exist because you are the giver. Remove the giving, and the relationship disappears. Conscious giving protects you from emotional parasites. A man named Leon was known as the helper. His family relied on him for money. His friends relied on him for favors. His co-workers relied on him for support. He loved helping. It made him feel needed. But his giving had no boundaries. One day he fell sick and was bedridden for months. The people he helped vanished. No calls, no texts, no visits. That was the moment he discovered this truth. When you give unconsciously, people become addicted to the benefits, not connected to your soul. Conscious giving means you must learn to identify the three types of people: those who appreciate, those who expect, and those who exploit. The appreciative say thank you. The expectants say finally. The exploiting say more. If you give to the third type, you destroy yourself. They will drain you until you have nothing left. They will blame you for not giving more. They will resent you when you set boundaries. These are the people Stoicism warns you to avoid. When you give from fear, fear of losing someone, fear of disappointing someone, fear of appearing selfish, you become a slave. When you give from guilt, you become a puppet. When you give to be liked, you lose yourself. When you give because you are afraid to say no, you train people to treat you like a resource instead of a human being. Conscious giving removes fear from the equation. It replaces guilt with clarity. Your generosity must have direction. Your kindness must have limits. Your support must have boundaries. Your heart must have gates. Because when everyone has access to you, no one respects you. Giving unconsciously sends a message: my needs are not important. My peace is not priority. People believe what you show them. Conscious giving reverses that message. It says, I care, but I am not your rescue tool. I support, but I am not your emotional crutch. I give, but not at the expense of myself. There is a woman known as Isabella. She had a friend who constantly needed money, attention, comfort, and validation. Isabella gave everything, until she realized her friend never offered anything in return. When Isabella stopped giving, the friend accused her of changing. But Isabella hadn't changed. She simply became conscious. She realized she had been feeding someone who was emotionally starving but refused to grow. Stoic giving requires discipline. It requires courage. It requires emotional intelligence. It requires understanding that you can love someone deeply and still limit what you give them. It requires understanding that your peace is not something you should sacrifice for anyone. It requires understanding that giving must nourish you, not drain you. When you become conscious with your giving, several things happen. Your relationships become clearer. Your energy becomes stronger. Your peace becomes guarded. Your time becomes valuable. Your heart becomes lighter. You stop giving out of fear. You stop giving out of guilt. You stop giving out of habit. You start giving out of choice. And that is true generosity. Giving by choice, not pressure. 3. Learn to say no without explaining yourself. There is a silent tragedy happening inside millions of people every single day. They're drowning under the weight of obligations they never wanted in the first place. Why? Because they did not know how to say no. They said yes when their spirit was screaming no. They agreed when their heart resisted. They accepted tasks, favors, burdens, and duties that slowly drained the life out of them. And all because they believed that refusing someone made them a bad person. But the truth is simple. Saying yes too often is the fastest way to betray yourself. Stoicism teaches that control over your own time and mind is the highest form of freedom. Seneca warned that a person who is everywhere is nowhere. This is what happens when you constantly say yes. You become scattered, exhausted, overwhelmed, and resentful. You stretch yourself so thin trying to satisfy everyone else that you vanish from your own life. The world benefits, but you suffer. People take, and you shrink. And the more you comply, the less they respect you. Learning to say no is not about rebellion. It is about recovery. It is recovering your time, recovering your mental clarity, recovering your sleep, your sanity, your peace, your identity. Every time you say no, you recover a piece of yourself that was lost to guilt, fear, or people-pleasing. You reclaim energy that others were freely draining from you. You reclaim authority over your direction. You reclaim your dignity. A person who cannot say no is not living. They are obeying. The reason explaining your no is dangerous is because explanations invite negotiation. When you say, "I can't because I'm busy," someone will argue that you can make time. When you say, "I cannot afford it," someone will say, "It's just a small amount." When you say, "I'm not comfortable," manipulators will shame you. That is why the most powerful no is simple, clean, firm, and silent. No apologies, no justifications, no emotional stories, just a boundary, stated clearly. People who truly respect you will never demand explanations for your no. They will accept it without resistance because they value your time and peace. But people who react negatively to your no are the very people who benefited from your inability to refuse. They're angry that their access to your energy is being restricted. They're upset that they no longer have control. Their reaction is not about your refusal. It is about their losing power. Stoicism teaches detachment from other people's emotional reactions. Their disappointment is not your responsibility. Their anger is not your burden. Their entitlement is not your concern. You do not exist to rescue everyone. You do not exist to make life easier for people who make your life harder. You do not exist to cushion others from consequences. You exist to walk your path with integrity. And integrity requires boundaries. Saying no also filters your relationships. People who only valued you for your yes will fade. People who valued your presence will stay. People who respected you will adjust. People who were using you will disappear. This cleansing is painful at first but liberating in the long run. Because once the users exit your life, your soul becomes lighter. Your days become cleaner. Your relationships become healthier. Your mind becomes clearer. There is a kind of confidence that rises inside you when you say no consistently. Your posture changes. Your voice deepens. Your energy becomes firm. Your presence becomes respected. Saying no is a quiet sign of inner maturity. It communicates that you are not afraid to be disliked. You are not afraid to be misunderstood. You are not afraid to disappoint people who take from you. And once you reach this point, your life becomes your own again. This is ruthless wisdom. This is emotional evolution. This is the Stoic way of reclaiming yourself. 4. Reward loyalty ruthlessly, cut off disloyalty even faster. Human beings are shaped by the company they keep. Loyalty is rare in this world. Not because people are evil, but because most people operate from convenience rather than commitment. They support you when it benefits them. They stay close when they can take something. They smile in your face when you are useful. And some will even pray for your failure in private because your success exposes their laziness. This is why Stoicism requires ruthless discernment when choosing your circle. Marcus Aurelius believed that the greatest threat to one's character was proximity to the wrong people. He wrote that we must guard our minds from corruption the same way we guard our bodies from harm. One disloyal person can poison your confidence, your direction, your peace, your ambition, your identity. Disloyal people don't just betray you, they distract you from yourself. They make you question your worth. They make you doubt your dreams. They make you shrink your greatness so they can feel comfortable. A man named Carter learned this lesson in the most painful way. He had a friend named Leo, someone he trusted fully. They grew together, worked together, planned success together. Carter supported Leo through heartbreak, financial struggles, and depression. But when Carter received a major opportunity, a promotion that Leo had secretly wanted, everything changed. Leo congratulated him with a smile but stabbed him with envy behind his back. He spread rumors, sabotaged Carter's reputation, and damaged connections Carter had spent years building. Carter had mistaken proximity for loyalty. The Stoics warn against such blindness. Loyalty must not be assumed. It must be proven through consistency. It must be tested through time. It must survive temptation, conflict, jealousy, and opportunity. Loyalty is not how someone behaves when everything is easy. Loyalty is who remains when circumstances challenge your bond. Those who stay are your people. Those who break are simply passing shadows. Rewarding loyalty is a Stoic principle because it reinforces the character traits that strengthen your life. When someone shows loyalty, you honor them. You protect them. You elevate them. You treat them with respect. You speak of them with admiration. You show them appreciation. Because loyalty is a form of love, and love must be nourished. A loyal person beside you is worth more than 10 talented people who envy you. But when disloyalty appears even once, you must respond with immediate, silent, irreversible distance. Do not negotiate with betrayal. Do not rationalize it. Do not downplay it. Do not wait for more evidence. Do not hope the person will change. Disloyalty is a disease. It spreads. It begins with one small lie, one small betrayal, one small shade of envy. If you excuse it, it grows roots. If you forgive it without wisdom, it becomes bold. If you tolerate it, it becomes entitlement. And entitlement eventually becomes destruction. Stoicism teaches that you must protect your peace even if it requires cutting someone you love. Because your destiny is too important to be jeopardized by someone who cannot celebrate you. If someone feels threatened by your rise, they cannot walk with you. If someone becomes distant when you succeed, they cannot hold your hand. If someone supports you only when you are weak, they're not your ally, they're your parasite. Reward loyalty ruthlessly. Cut disloyalty even faster. This is how strong empires survive. This is how great leaders rise. This is how peaceful minds stay peaceful. When you remove disloyal people, you create space for loyal ones. You create harmony. You create alignment. You create a circle where love flows easily and support is mutual. This circle becomes your shield. It becomes your strength. It becomes your sanctuary. The greatest luxury in life is not money, fame, or success. It is the presence of loyal people who walk with you in truth. 5. Control your emotions like a lion watching its prey. The strongest person in any room is not the loudest. It is the one whose emotions do not betray them. It is the person who does not react impulsively, who does not get provoked easily, who does not lose control when others push their buttons. This is the very foundation of Stoic power, emotional discipline. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Most people reverse this. They try to control everything except themselves. There is a difference between feeling emotions and being controlled by them. Stoicism does not teach you to suppress feelings. It teaches you to master them. A lion does not roar at every small animal it sees. It observes with calm intensity. It moves only when necessary. It strikes with purpose. That is emotional discipline. Most people move like frightened prey, reacting to everything that moves around them. They get angry quickly, hurt quickly, distracted quickly, manipulated easily. Their emotions are open doors for anyone to enter. Emotionally reactive people are easy to manipulate. All someone needs to do is annoy them, and they lose focus. All someone needs to do is lie about them, and they panic. All someone needs to do is provoke them, and they sabotage themselves. You cannot win in life if you cannot control your inner storms. The world is full of people who will push your triggers just to see how loudly you break. They do not need to defeat you. Your emotions defeat you for them. Seneca wrote, "Anger, if not restrained, is more harmful than the injury that provokes it." This is a truth people learn too late. Emotional reactions cost jobs, relationships, opportunities, reputations, and peace. Reactions make you predictable. Reactions make you weak. Reactions make you someone who can be controlled. But emotional discipline makes you untouchable. When people cannot predict your reactions, they cannot manipulate you. When they cannot manipulate you, they cannot use you. Imagine living your life with the calmness of a lion in shadows. People speak, but you do not respond instantly. You breathe before reacting. You evaluate before moving. You pause before deciding. This pause is your power. This stillness is your strength. This discipline is your advantage. No one can drag you into chaos because your mind is anchored. No one can provoke you because your emotions are aligned. No one can pull you off your path because you control your inner world completely. There was a woman named Zaria who worked in a hostile environment. People envied her excellence. They spread rumors, plotted schemes, attempted to make her lose her composure. But Zaria mastered silence. She worked with precision. She carried herself with dignity. She did not react, even when provoked openly. Her emotional discipline made her untouchable. The same people who tried to sabotage her looked foolish in the end because she refused to descend to their level. Her calmness exposed their weakness. Stoicism teaches that emotions are signals, not commands. Anger shows you what needs boundaries. Sadness shows you what needs healing. Fear shows you what needs understanding. Frustration shows you what needs adjustment. But none of these emotions should control your behavior. The moment an emotion is in the driver's seat, your life becomes chaotic. But the moment your reasoning leads the way, your life becomes aligned. This discipline is built through daily work. You breathe before you respond. You observe before you speak. You think before you act. You detach before you assume. You see, emotional control is not coldness, it is wisdom. It is the wisdom to understand that not everything deserves your reaction. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not every situation deserves your fire. Some things deserve nothing from you but silence. And silence is not weakness. Silence is a statement. Silence is a weapon. Silence is a shield. Silence is dignity. A lion does not fear small noises because it knows what it is. You must know what you are. You are not a reed in the wind. You are not a leaf easily blown. You are not a puppet pulled by emotional strings. You are a fortress. You are a force. You are someone who feels deeply but moves strategically. You are someone who can remain still while the world trembles. This is ruthless wisdom. This is Stoic mastery. This is emotional evolution. 6. Stop explaining your plans. Move in strategic ruthlessness. One of the greatest mistakes people make is announcing their plans too early. They talk too much. They reveal too much. They expose their moves before they make them. And in doing so, they weaken their advantage. The Stoics believed deeply in privacy, not secrecy. Privacy is protective. Privacy is strategic. Privacy shields your dreams from envy, sabotage, and unnecessary opinions. Most people destroy their progress by giving the world access to their blueprint. Marcus Aurelius taught the power of inner stillness. Stoic stillness is not just emotional calm. It is strategic silence. When your plans are hidden, no one can sabotage them. No one can doubt them. No one can drain your confidence. No one can steal them. No one can poison them with fear or envy. Silence protects your power. Most people talk about the goals for validation, not progress. They want applause before effort. They want support before action. They want recognition before results. But the Stoic way is different. You act first and speak later. You move quietly and reveal only when the mission is complete. Your actions announce your greatness, not your words. People underestimate silence. Silence is the most powerful armor against jealousy. Silence is the shield against manipulation. Silence prevents others from predicting your steps. Silence eliminates unnecessary noise. Silence protects your energy from dream doubter and idea thieves. Silence preserves your momentum. When you stop explaining yourself, you stop inviting sabotage. A woman named Juliet had a dream of starting her own brand. She told her best friend, who subtly discouraged her. She told her cousin, who mocked the idea. She told a coworker, who later launched a similar business before Juliet could begin. Juliet felt betrayed, but the truth was simple. She talked too much. Her dreams didn't fail. She leaked them to the wrong hearts. Some people aren't against you. They're against you having more than them. Stoicism teaches that success grows best in silence. Seeds grow underground, protected from outside harm. Babies grow in the womb, hidden from the world. Ideas must grow the same way, quietly, safely, privately. Once your idea becomes strong enough, you can bring it into the world. But until then, it must be shielded. Talking about your plans weakens your drive. Each time you announce what you will do, you release dopamine, the chemical of achievement. So your brain feels as if you already accomplished something, even though nothing has been done. Talking takes the place of working. The Stoics knew this. They focused on building silently, then letting results speak. Strategic ruthlessness means you choose who knows your next move. Not everyone deserves access to your thinking. Not everyone should know your direction. Some people want updates so they can measure your progress, and pray for your downfall. Some want details so they can compete with you. Some want information so they can discourage you. And some simply do not have the capacity to understand your path. You owe explanations to no one. You owe updates to no one. You owe clarity to no one. You owe your destiny everything. Moving in silence does not mean isolation. It means intelligence. It means protecting your purpose. It means trusting your actions more than your words. It means allowing your success to shock people who doubted you, envied you, mocked you, or underestimated you. When you move quietly, life becomes calmer. You stop justifying yourself. You stop seeking approval. You stop needing validation. You stop explaining your dreams to people too small to understand them. Your energy returns to you. Your confidence strengthens. Your momentum accelerates. And when people finally see your results, they won't understand how you did it. That's the point. If you want more content that strengthens your discipline, sharpens your mind, and builds your inner power, subscribe to the Inner Fortress. Your evolution is just beginning. 7. Always choose respect over being liked. There is a silent trap many people fall into: the desire to be liked. They shape their personality around others' expectations. They bend their truth to avoid conflict. They soften their boundaries to keep peace. They smile when tired, agree when uncomfortable, and endure disrespect just to maintain harmony. But the Stoics warned that the need to be liked is one of the greatest chains a human can wear. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who desires more, who is poor." This includes the desire to be liked. It leaves you spiritually poor. Being liked is a temporary emotion. Respect is a permanent decision. People like you for what you offer them. They respect you for what you demand from yourself. People like you when you entertain them. They respect you when you discipline yourself. People like you when you are convenient. They respect you when you stand firmly in your truth. The difference between being liked and being respected determines the quality of your relationships and the direction of your destiny. Choosing respect requires courage. It requires standing firm even when it makes others uncomfortable. It requires saying no even when people expect yes. It requires disagreeing calmly without fearing rejection. It requires setting boundaries that others may dislike. It requires not shrinking your personality to fit someone else's comfort zone. Respect demands strength. Being liked demands nothing but compliance. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you seek the applause of others, you become their slave." When you live for approval, you lose yourself. You cannot grow because you fear disappointing people who don't even think about your future. You cannot speak your truth because you fear judgment. You cannot walk your path because you fear stepping on toes. This is why people who spend their lives being liked often wake up empty and angry. They realize they built a life around pleasing others, not around honoring themselves. People respect clarity. They respect consistency. They respect those who stand up for themselves. They respect those who speak honestly. They respect those who affirm without being cruel. They respect those who walk away instead of begging to be understood. Respect creates boundaries that protect your spirit. Being liked erases boundaries until you are exposed and exhausted. Respect does not come from aggression. It comes from boundaries. It comes from emotional intelligence. It comes from silence used wisely. It comes from mastering your reactions. It comes from demanding fairness from yourself before demanding it from others. Respect is earned through behavior, not words. When you choose respect, you lose people who never valued you in the first place. You lose people who only liked you because you made their lives easier. You lose people who depended on your compliance. You lose people who were attached to your weakness. But what you gain is priceless. Your voice, your strength, your dignity, your peace. Choosing respect is choosing yourself. Choosing respect is choosing growth. Choosing respect is choosing inner power. This is ruthless wisdom. This is Stoic maturity. This is your evolution. 8. Match people's energy without apology. There is a powerful shift that happens in your life the moment you stop giving people more than they give you. Most people are miserable not because life is hard, but because they overextend themselves for people who underdeliver. They show love to those who show disrespect. They show effort to those who show entitlement. They show loyalty to those who show inconsistency. They give softness to people who weaponize it. This imbalance destroys your peace, drains your energy, and weakens your identity. Stoicism teaches balance. It teaches alignment. It teaches matching energy with wisdom, not emotion. Matching energy does not mean becoming cruel. It means responding with appropriate boundaries. If someone communicates with respect, you respond with warmth. If someone distances themselves, you stop chasing. If someone gives excuses, you stop offering effort. If someone brings chaos, you bring silence. You do not overachieve. You do not shrink. You do not apologize for adjusting. There was a man named Cale who gave his all in every relationship. He called first, texted first, apologized first, planned everything, compromised endlessly, and carried emotional weight for 2. People loved him when they needed him but ignored him when he needed them. Cale blamed himself for years, thinking he wasn't good enough. But the truth was simpler. He was overinvesting in people who were underinvesting in him. He lacked energy alignment. When Cale finally stopped overgiving, his life changed instantly. He stopped texting first. He stopped reaching out to people who offered half effort. He stopped explaining himself to people who listened to reply, not to understand. He stopped pouring into people who contributed nothing. And he learned something life-changing. People treat you the way you teach them to treat you. When he matched their energy, they adjusted or disappeared. Either way, his peace increased. This is emotional intelligence at its highest level. You do not take things personally. You do not chase validation. You do not beg for attention. You do not force connections. You observe energy. You adjust your contribution. You protect your peace. Matching energy removes desperation. It removes emotional imbalance. It removes confusion. It removes disappointment. It removes resentment. Because resentment happens when your energy is greater than what you receive. When you match energy, expectations become aligned. You give what is given. Nothing more, nothing less. Some will call you cold, some will call you changed. Some will call you distant. But these are the same people who benefited from your imbalance. Their opinion does not matter. Your peace matters. Your self-worth matters. Your emotional safety matters. Your growth matters. Matching energy is not revenge. It is balance. It is self-respect. It is honoring your value. It is walking in your truth. And if you want more teachings that sharpen your emotional intelligence, protect your spirit, and build your inner strength, make sure you subscribe to the Inner Fortress. This is where minds evolve, hearts strengthen, and destinies shift upward. You have just learned some of the most powerful tools the Stoics used to survive chaos, betrayal, and the cruelty of the world, tools that can transform your life from the inside out. But none of these lessons matter unless you apply them. You must live them. You must breathe them. You must practice them until they become your nature. The world will not change for you, but you can change how you walk through it. You deserve relationships built on respect. You deserve connections that feed your soul. You deserve a life where your energy is valued. You deserve peace that cannot be stolen. Remember this: your life becomes stronger the moment you stop negotiating your worth. If this message spoke to your spirit, hit subscribe, join the inner fortress, and continue building the strongest, calmest, most unstoppable version of yourself. Your transformation has already begun. Before you scroll away, pause for just a moment, because what you heard today wasn't random advice. It wasn't motivational noise. It was a mirror, showing you the strongest version of you, the version life has been trying to wake up for years. And now that this version has stirred, it's your responsibility to keep it alive. You didn't land on this video by accident. Something in you is tired of being stepped on, tired of being overlooked, tired of giving everything and receiving nothing, tired of shrinking your power to make others comfortable. Something in you is ready, truly ready, to rise into a new level of self-respect, clarity, and inner strength. Take a moment and feel it, that quiet fire in your chest. That shift in your mind. That voice whispering, enough. That is your transformation beginning. From today forward, you are no longer the version of yourself that tolerated disrespect. You are no longer the one who lowers your standards to keep the wrong people close. You are no longer the one who explains yourself to people who don't deserve access. You are becoming someone different, someone sharper, calmer, stronger, more disciplined, more dangerous in the best way. If this message hit your heart, it woke something inside you. If you felt your spirit straighten itself as you listened, then don't let it end here. Subscribe to the inner fortress so this growth becomes your lifestyle. Not a moment. Like this video so more people can break free from the chains holding them down. Share it with someone who needs this awakening, because strength spreads when it is shared. You have built walls your whole life to keep pain out, but now it's time to build a fortress to keep your power in. Walk away from this video with your head high, your boundaries firm, and your spirit unshakable. Remember, the world will always try to break the weak, but it will always respect the unbreakable. You are becoming unbreakable. Honor that, protect that, live that, and I'll see you in the next video. Inside the inner fortress, where your strongest self is forged.